welcome you to Super Tuesday, presented by Cree LED Lighting. It's the SEC on ESPN, and we bring you to the Pete Maravich Assembly Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Our matchup, the top-ranked team in the country, Kentucky, against the Tigers of LSU. Welcome to Baton Rouge, everybody. Brad Nessler with Dick Vitale. All right, partner, they're a perfect 10-0 in league play. They're 23-0 overall. Has LSU got a shot at Kentucky tonight?
They really believe they can win. They won here last year. They went to Rupp last year and got beat on a tip-in by Randall in the last second. They really have a dynamite duo inside. The play of the two bigs is going to be vital. I'm talking about Mickey and Martin. On the other side, you look at Kentucky. Kentucky's got to play on a fever pitch. I think what's happened right now, we haven't seen the Kentucky that's blown out Carolina and Kansas and UCLA. I think they got to raise their level to meet the unbelievable commitment they get from everyone they're playing.
Here's the starting lineups. The Harrison twins, Hawkins, Townsend, Cauley-Stein up front. For LSU, they changed and put Quarterman and Patterson in the backcourt with Keith Hornsby in the last game, and it paid off for him. And of course, Dick already talked about Mickey and Martin up front.
They got solid backcourt play, and making that change, they were really burnt big time by Auburn, who put 52 points on the board against them with their guards, and they made the switch against Alabama, and it really worked in their favor.
Michael Roberts, Joe Lindsey, and Antonio Petty's got the ball in hand. There are officials, and we're underway in the second half of the SEC season. And LSU, as Dick said, won here a year ago, took Kentucky to overtime in Lexington, and then lost to them in the SEC tournament in Atlanta. On the drive and on the baseline, and a good opener for Jordan Mickey.
Jordan Mickey, what a year he's had. 9 consecutive double-doubles, Brad. That's amazing. 14 for the year.
He had 24 and 12 in the win over Alabama. That's after having 23 points and 12 rebounds in the previous game. So as Dick said, he's been on a tear.
He had 24 and 20 in a loss against Mississippi State.
Andrew Harrison. Hawkins on a runner. And he got his own rebound. And brings it out to Aaron Harrison at the point. And now brother Andrew will take over. And he'll drive and score.
That's good news for him. The last game, he didn't take a shot. His brother Aaron had the big game, had 23 against the Gators and saved them. They didn't miss a free throw until the end. They ended up 21 for 22 on the free throw line.
Second best free throw percentage under the Calipari era. And here's a quick push on Aaron Harrison. That might be an indication of how they're going to call things tonight.
You're Kentucky, you get everybody's best hit.
Yep.
Everybody plays at such a level against you. And you got to make the commitment to yourself to match that unbelievable inspiration and the motivation of the opponent.
Folks, keep in mind it's 3 minutes after 6 local time. It is not easy to get to the Maravich Assembly Center unless you leave work early. This place is packed. I mean packed. And the lob underneath. And Jarrell Martin scores.
Oh, what a great play right there. The diagonal flip up on top. They're not intimidated, man. They got bigs that can challenge the bigs in Kentucky.
And that crowd I just talked about fired up now as Cauley-Stein puts a shoulder in there, doesn't get the shot, and Hornsby comes out of the pile. On the run, Keith Hornsby up. Missed it. And the rebound, the putback, a foul on the shot. Going to be on Cauley-Stein.
What a great play right there. Look at him up on top, the jam. Diagonally, the great catch, good hands.
Quarterman, who usually came off the bench and provided a spark. And when we talked to Johnny today, talking about, hey, if you get the spark early, take it. And that was part of the spark with that assist.
I mean, you look at the numbers of Martin and Mickey. They're as good as any combination you can get.
Yep.
Block shots, rebounds.
And Martin got them both. 4 points to open up for Jarrell Martin.
Free throws can be big. Last game they missed 15 free throws, even though they won LSU.
You can see points in the paint is strong for LSU, and are off to a good start with Mickey and Martin already with 6. And Jalen Patterson, the freshman, picks up his first foul.
First sellout here in the SEC competition since 2006. But as you said earlier, first sellout since Xavier was here. 2009, was it?
Yep. Almost had 14,000 in here for that one. Aaron Harrison, jumper. Got the carom Fans were looking for a foul on Hornsby, and now it's Patterson behind the back. Leaves it for Quarterman on the drive.
Gotta make that layup. He did everything right, got to the goal.
Well, on both ends of the floor, they let him play there.
Tell you one thing, you look at Kentucky's numbers, they're staggering when you talk about defensively. Teams shoot 35% against them. They only give up 51 points a game.
Inside is Jarrell Martin.
He came to play, man.
Yes, he did.
Came to play. You better call your friends up. This is going to be a little interesting here. Martin and Mickey, they're not going back down, Brown Nestler.
The second platoon is at the scorer's table for John Calipari. Aaron Harrison for three. Off the side of the rim. Kick out. Patterson on the run. Only Harrison can get to him, and he can't.
Nobody rotated back. No defensive transition by Kentucky.
What a start for LSU. Up 8, 3 minutes in. Dick, LSU really got it up the floor after that missed shot by Kentucky.
Yeah, did a great job in transition. Nobody rotated back on a missed shot. And here it is, the court. Patterson's going to finish in transition. Does a great job protecting the basketball. What a super start, as you said, Brad. I mean, they got the crowd into it. They got the bigs into it. They got Johnny Jones into it. They got Dale Brown into it.
John Calipari's got his second 5 into it, including Trey Lyles, as Shannon talked about, on the floor for the first time in 3 games.
Remember, it's John Calipari's birthday, 56 years of age, and there's no gift he would want more than to leave the Baton Rouge with a W.
Booker wanted a jumper, and he's got Quarterman draped all over. 10 on the shot clock.
Quarterman knows he can shoot the 3, so he came right up in his face.
Whoa, and Ulis threw it way out of bounds. We check in with Shannon.
Hashtag where is Trey? 11 little letters that Coach Calipari tweeted out earlier today that had all of Big Blue Nation and some of the media wondering if Coach Calipari had lost his 6'10" 5-star recruit. Well, you can see Trey Lyles is out there with the white platoon because when Trey comes back, so does the platoon system. As far as fatigue, he did shoot around today. He also warmed up, and Coach Calipari told me with the platoon system, he'll only be out there for a few minutes. So if he has any fatigue, it should be able to mask that.
Shot off the mark in the aforementioned Trey Lyles with a rebound. And here he is on the offensive end.
He looked pretty good getting that rebound.
Dakari Johnson will put it back out. Those two will play catch on the low block. Dakari backing in. Missed the shot. Rebound Patterson.
He's got to go to the basket much more aggressive. Be stronger.
Patterson pulls up from straight away. And Dakari Johnson with the board.
One great strength of Kentucky has been their bench. They're so deep.
Ulis, jumper, got it.
He's been such a positive force. He and Booker as a tandem have been outstanding all year.
So Quarterman will bring it up for LSU. They clear out for him and get it ahead to Martin. The lob and the jam by Mickey.
How many times have you seen teams able to throw the lob against the size of Kentucky? Not too often, my friend. Not too often.
Lead back to 8.
That's the second lob we've seen.
Johnson, this time a spin, drop step, and a nice move to the hoop.
See, that's what you want him to do. You want him to be aggressive in that post. Catch the ball and go right to the goal with it.
Kentucky with a little pressure in the backcourt. Booker with a one-man press. No problem for Quarterman, although he threw it away right to Booker. And Patterson takes it back.
Turned it back to Mickey. Mr. Mickey, are you serious? He's second. When you talk about scoring, he's third in the conference in scoring. He's second in rebounding. He's first in block shots. He has earned his scholarship.
And the birthday boy is not happy. Patterson picks up the loose ball, gets it ahead. Mickey with another flush. 6 for him. And here's the lob earlier. And it's an 8-point LSU advantage.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Cree LED Lighting and in part by the Mazda 6.
You want to go 6 for 10 against Kentucky to open a game shooting 60%. You do it with high percentage shots. This is much more than that. Martin with the first jam off the feed from Quarterman. And then Martin to Mickey. And then Patterson after the steal. And Mickey flushes another one.
They've been dominant on the inside. They've had 5 touches inside in the paint and have converted 10 points. You think about Kentucky. Look at them defensively. 33.5 field goal percentage, the best. 51.5 a game, right up there with the best. Block shots, 7 a game, second in the nation. Unbelievable defensively, but it's not affecting right now LSU. They're not intimidated.
As you said, Dick, very seldom do you see anybody lob against Kentucky without having the ball right back in your mush. Booker with his first basket.
I love that kid. I think he's got stardom all over him. He can really shoot the basketball, and he's more than just a three-point shooter. Booker, father was a heck of a player at Missouri.
Yep. Still their number 6 all-time scorer at Missouri.
One thing to see, no panic out of Kentucky. They've been behind against teams. They just keep playing, keep their poise.
Patterson pull up over Ulyss Johnson, who didn't play very well against Florida, according to John Calipari. He's played well here early. Booker drains a 3.
Can't give him any open looks.
Just like that, 5 points in a hurry for Booker, and Kentucky cuts the lead to 3.
He just squares his body. He catches that basketball. It's going down.
Mickey asking for it against Dakari Johnson, and will take it over him. Rebound, Lyles. Kentucky a chance to cut it to 1 or tie it this trip. Booker wanted another one. Quarterman got in his face in a hurry. Here's Lyles against Hornsby. Tough drive, tipped in underneath by Dakari Johnson.
And that's what they do so well. They're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the nation. You got to keep them off the glass if you want a chance to beat them.
Martin to Quarterman, and now Hornsby for a triple. Got it.
That's big time. His daddy loves that, I can guarantee you, and he's in the house right now.
Booker stutter step, goes to the rack with a left hand. He scored 7 in a row.
He's got all scorers mentality, man. He can score in a variety of ways.
What a spark the second unit for Kentucky has put forth.
I'll tell you one thing, there's no second unit. That club can start almost anywhere in America.
You could coach that 5, couldn't you?
Wow.
Here's Martin. Wheels on Marcus Lee.
Tough shot.
Lee blocks it, but he's called for the foul. We check in with Shannon.
Well, Brad, Dick, you guys just mentioned the poise that Kentucky plays with. This is a battle. They want to be challenged in a game. They want to see how they respond. And during that last time out, a lot of attention given to how these guys are handling things in the post. Coach Calipari also said we have to step on the gas and we have to use our depth as our advantage. Just keep going, keep the pace up.
That's an interesting point, Shannon, because if you look at Mickey, you look at Martin, I look at the numbers, they play like 35, 36 minutes a game. So at the end of the game, fatigue could play a factor here. When you look at Kentucky, they don't have a player playing more than 26 minutes.
Right. The top 10 players for Kentucky play somewhere between 10 and 26 minutes. And for LSU, they've got 4 players that average over 32. So it's big difference, but it normally is when you're playing Kentucky. There aren't many people that have that kind of depth.
You know, I got to make sure. Calipari can't hear me, though, can he? About the
He'll hear
system.
about what you say.
I don't want to hear him at halftime saying, I'm fired again. But I will tell you this, they can't get into a great rhythm when you're constantly shuffling players on the offensive end. Defensively, I think it's a great advantage. Offensively, I have a problem with it.
Harrison to Towns and back to Andrew Harrison. Fall away 3. Cauley-Stein keeps it alive.
There's that offensive rebounding again. Second opportunities.
And now the ball is loose and Kentucky turns it over. Hornsby comes up with a loose ball.
I look at Willie Cauley-Stein and it amazes me when I don't see numbers with him 15 and 10. He's a beautiful young guy. He even said, he told one of the writers, he says, I can understand Dick Vitale calling me a teaser.
Well, he's not on the floor enough, and they've got such balance. I mean, their leading scorer averages 11.5 points a game, and they're undefeated. That's hard to argue with.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to argue with 23 and zip with the system and what he's doing.
And then we got a foul on Josh Gray. It'll be his first. With 11-17 remaining in the first half, LSU clinging to a 3-point lead right now after being up by as many as 8. But Devin Booker has been the difference for Kentucky the last few minutes. Kentucky has cut the lead down to 3, but LSU's bigs Jordan Mickey and Jarrell Martin have had a good start here in the first 8 minutes plus. And when you got two guys that can both play, you can't get a lot of help on defense, Dick.
Well, we're going to take a look right now at the old pick and roll. You're going to watch Martin roll to the basket. There it is right here. Tries to get over it. There's the lob. Nobody rotates over. No communication. Great execution of the pick and roll.
Johnny Jones in his 3rd year as the head coach at LSU. There's his numbers.
If you
of course,
can't
he was with Dale Brown's staff 13 years. 20 years really around here when you consider 4 years as a player. He was on the 81 team that was a Final Four team. He was a freshman then, so he's been around here forever pretty much.
And he was talking right there to Eric Musselman, who does a great job coaching in the NBA. Son of Bill Musselman, the late coach, who was unbelievable as a winner. I'll tell you one thing, Johnny Jones has got this place starting to move in a positive way. Where do you see the recruits coming in next year? Paul Biancardi told me they're number 7 in the nation.
Now, the Simmons kid is huge, considered number 1 by a lot of people. It's Karl-Anthony Towns, his first basket.
He's really been playing well lately, getting more minutes. He's starting to really produce. Last 3 games, averaging over 19 a game.
Gray lost it on the way up, but had it knocked away. Towns had a career high, season high, tying 19 points in the win over Florida with things like this, and he's becoming a presence in there.
He is really a big-time prospect. People love him, love his wingspan, his athleticism.
Mickey swatted away by, guess who? Karl-Anthony Towns, his 54th block of the year.
He did a great job rotating over from the help side. And he's going to come from the help side. That's why they're second in the nation in block shots. They've got so many guys that can block shots. Great size.
7 blocks a game, 163 on the season. As Dick said, both of those numbers are second in the country. They were number 1 for quite a while, but they have not blocked as many shots, John Calipari told me, in the last 4 games or so as they were earlier in the season. That's a tough drive against some tall timber in there by Josh Gray.
Josh Gray lost his starting job. That'll get him more minutes right there, making those kind of plays. Took it against the big guys on the inside, right to the goal.
Approaching the midway point of the half. LSU still up by 3.
They're zoning right now. Came out, went to the zone.
Boy, that's a nice move as well, and it's Karl-Anthony Towns again.
You can see why people have him rated so high. Chad Ford, insider with ESPN, has him right there in the top 5 in America.
Gray had a thought about an outside jumper. Now drives and dishes back out to Hornsby.
Good job by Booker rotating back out right on
Hornsby pull up from the free throw line and got the roll.
He gets the touch. His daddy would say, that's just the way it is, man. That's just the way it is, Bruce Hornsby's son.
Some things will never change.
Some things will never change. Good deflection right there.
And a steal.
Bad pass, telegraphed it.
Gray's going to take it coast to coast and have it knocked out of there by Cauley-Stein, and there's a foul involved. Let's see who it's on.
Not a good play by Gray right there. Had a teammate on the right, should have given the ball up.
That's going to be on Andrew Harris, and that'll be his first.
Going to watch Hornsby right now. Booker's right up in his face. That's a tough shot, but he gets the good roll, good backspin.
He's their best 3-point shooter as well, averaging 12.5 a game. Gray inside again, and that's not a good shot either.
Not a chance in there with that size. Not a chance.
Towns just took it away, much less blocked the shot. Aaron Harrison, 3 comes out. Martin up high for the rebound.
LSU's got to be a little more patient here and get the ball inside to Mickey and certainly Martin. They're going to get more touches in that lane.
I can tell you one more bad play by Gray, and Patterson's going to be back on the floor. Nice job by Cauley-Stein to swat that one away. Now coming up Friday on ESPN, Stanley Johnson has the Cats clicking and earned himself a spot among the elite as a Wooden Watch candidate. Arizona and Washington. Coming up Friday nights, 9 o'clock on ESPN. And Patterson is back in. Gray sits down.
You mentioned Arizona. I was here twice when Arizona was number 1 in the country and got beat. Once with Shaquille O'Neal in '92 and once in 2002.
Whistle and a foul is on Booker. LSU is 3-17 all time against number 1 ranked teams. And Dick just mentioned he was at one of those, the Arizona game here. What a move. Wow. Jalen Patterson, freshman with some guts.
He had some guts to go inside there. Used the reverse layup, so he's able to use the rim as a protector.
Booker pull up. Had to go high over Martin. It was too high, but it's kept alive. Offensive board. Towns. And Towns is taking over on the inside right now.
He's dominating inside. He's showing that potential we all talk about.
Gray scored about 34 points a game in junior college last year, taking shots like that, I guess. Booker, and he's rejected by Mickey.
Oh, Mickey says, thou shalt not enter my lane. I lead the conference in block shots.
His 82nd block shot by Jordan Mickey. And here he is offensively.
I mean, there's some talent on that floor wearing the LSU uniform, but that challenge right there by the Kentucky defense.
Harrison, the kick out to his brother Booker, straightaway triple, comes out, and Patterson will clear it. 8 minutes remaining in the half.
I said it earlier this year, Brad, and I really believe it. Kentucky, when they're playing their best, they're the best defensive team I've seen in 36 years on ESPN.
Johnny Jones told me today it's the best one he's ever seen as a player or a coach. Whoa, what a shot by Martin off the window.
Tell you one thing, that's how upsets happen when you make miraculous shots. That was a tough shot. Think about some of those great defensive teams. You certainly got to think about Patrick Ewing and that club he played on.
Crowd getting back into it with their team up 5. Cauley-Stein hammers it home on a foul.
I look at Mr. Cauley-Stein, and there's another example. He's agile. He's mobile. He's got great size. You look at his numbers, I say, why? I know he doesn't play a whole lot of minutes, but his numbers have to be much better than they are for his skills and his ability.
Agile, mobile, and in this case, I would say hostile.
And not fragile. He's not fragile.
No. All right, Ed and Ed, thanks. LSU still a 3-point lead. Kentucky's never led in this game. The hat, minus the hat, is here. Les Miles, football coach.
Hey, look at Dale Brown's in the house. Oh, Dale's here.
Famer.
Every time I used to see him come here to do a game, he'd say, Dick, I got the freak defense. I said, Dale, I don't want to hear no freak defense. It's only freak if you play 7 and they play 5. He played with the minds of teams. Did a terrific job. He's now in the College Hall of Fame.
Coach came up to me before the game and says, I remember you as a rookie in this business. I said, Coach, it's a long time ago. Cauley-Stein at the free throw line, nowhere near. On a miss. As we check in with Shannon.
Well, Johnny Jones told his guys, we can't be spectators in this game. I feel like some of you guys are just standing around. We are not saving ourselves. We have to get out there. We have to get the ball. Especially wants to see that in this man defense as they go out here for a few more minutes.
Again, Quarterman with the great lead pass to Martin, who's had an easy time of it on the inside with 11 points already.
Terrific job by Martin moving without the ball. Simple cut to the goal. Nobody beat him to the basketball.
Andrew Harrison, pull-up jumper. Got it. 4 for Andrew.
He gets under the scrutiny of so many people critiquing every little thing he does.
Kentucky doesn't give you anything in the paint, and already LSU's got 18 in the paint so far, and we've got 6.5 to go in the half.
Well, their bigs are not intimidated at all by the Kentucky bigs.
Quarterman, another pass down low that got deflected. Would have been another assist to Martin.
Shot selection is going to become big for LSU. They're going to make sure they take quality shots. They've done it thus far.
This is the first time we've had to think about the shot clock. 5 to shoot. Quarterman spins, fires, and didn't hit the rim. Would have been a shot clock violation had Kentucky not gotten the ball. And now it's Dakari Johnson.
What a way to run the court, the big guy. I mean, they got bigs, man, that can flat out play. When you talk Johnson, when you talk Anthony Towns, it's unreal. Watch the big guy run the court. I mean, look at him run the court. He wants the rock. He wants that rock. He wants to dunk it. He wants Mr. Nessler to say, I'm going to the line for a three-pointer.
Calipari saying today Dakari Johnson has not played well, and thus Karl-Anthony Towns' minutes have been up, his numbers have been up, and I think the point got across to Dakari because he's had a great start here in the first half.
He was aggressive right there in that transition play.
There is a three-point play, Dakari.
And the beat goes on for Kentucky. Paul Biancardi just sent me a text. He said, Kentucky #1 again, 4 out of 6 years in recruiting, the class they're bringing in. And where did they see the kid Briscoe from out of New Jersey? All my people in Jersey tell me he is absolutely special.
Tied for the second time right now. 28 until Hornsby just knocked that one down on the baseline.
This guy's going to make another song right now with that. It's Sweet Music by his son. That's a second three. He's a transfer. Came out of North Carolina, Asheville.
2 years there and then sat out last season. Was one of the first guys to practice and one of the last guys to leave last year, working out and not being able to play, and it's paid off. He's had a good season so far. Bounce pass to Lyles, had to pick up the dribble. 10 to shoot for Kentucky. Ulis on the inside, partially blocked. It's going to come out, and Hornsby's going to come down with it.
Tell you one
and
thing,
he'll push it.
LSU playing with a lot of passion.
Quarterman tried a three. And now Kentucky's got Lyles on a break.
Oh, Kentucky so talented, so tough to get away from them. Here they are after the great start by LSU. They're even.
Lyles' first basket in 4 games. 3 that he missed, and he does it on a slam to make it a tie game again.
Tell you one thing, when Ulis is on the floor, man, they push the ball, they run, and there's the transition play by Lyles, but the great look by Ulis.
There was about 1 dribble to go the length of the floor, and that was Ulis before the pass to Lyles for the slam, and the tie at 30. And now Lyles going to be called for a foul, and LSU will be in the 1-and-1. NBA Wednesday. Chris Bosh and the Heat visit Cleveland, take on his former teammate LeBron. Then the Rockets and Clippers go at it in the Key Western Conference showdown. Countdown starts at 7:30. Heats and the Cavs at 8. Rockets and Clippers 10:30 tomorrow night on ESPN. Brad Nessler, Dick Vitale, Shannon Spake with you. The Maravich Assembly Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where Kentucky has never led. We've been tied 3 times. LSU has been up by as many as 8. And Jarrell Martin is having a whale of a first half. He's got 12 points right now.
He averages 16 a game. Rebounds, 9 a game. His partner there, Mr. Mickey, averages 17 a game, 11 rebounds a game. Bobby Portis having a great year for Arkansas, leads the conference in scoring, 17.7.
Portis and Quarles at Arkansas, the only other duo that can claim what Mickey and Martin have as far as points and rebounds per game. They're the 2 most productive bigs or pair of forwards in the conference.
You know, you said it earlier, Kentucky would have great numbers if they played 30, 35 minutes. When you talk about Towns and talk about Johnson and those guys, Lyles, and they play such limited minutes, the numbers are all distributed and balanced.
Yep. 8 on the shot clock. Good defense by LSU this trip. Lyles had it stripped by Patterson.
Good job by Patterson. Steps in for the deflection, the steal. He wants to take him one-on-one. Now he's going to give it to his buddy.
On the baseline, and now kept alive by Martin with the offensive rebound. Had it blocked by Towns.
Towns did a great job rotating over for the block shot.
That's 3 block shots by Towns in the first half. Aaron Harrison going to work on a runner.
He's a scorer. He had the big game against Florida. The Gators shot the ball really well. In fact, they shot 49% against Kentucky.
Harrison had 23, including 3 threes in that game, but the second half's when he came to life. He had 18 in Gainesville on Saturday night.
They do whatever it takes to win. They went to the foul line 21 for 22.
Ulis the steal, the
nice
lead
look
for Harrison, and he's fouled on the way to the basket by Quarterman.
Nice play by Ulis with the steal and then finding his teammate.
Kentucky's going to have a chance to take the lead for the first time from the free throw line when we come back.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2015 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award, and 5-Hour Energy Shots.
All right, Ned, thanks. We'll see you guys in 3 minutes, 27 seconds. Well, the Pelicans have the night off, and Anthony Davis is in the house wearing his old Kentucky sweats.
He's as good as it gets, my friend. If you asked me to take one player today in the NBA, if I was starting a team, because of his youth, I'm not saying he's better than LeBron in that, but because of his youth and potential, I would take Mr. Davis.
You realize that if he had stayed at Kentucky, he'd be a senior, and they would have him, Karl-Anthony Towns, Cauley-Stein, and Dakari Johnson as their front line.
You told me that before, and I didn't believe that. I said, wow. And what about Gilchrist, too?
Oh, yeah. So Kentucky's got its first lead right now.
John Calipari's done an amazing job. People can say what you want. For him to take the one-and-done player and what he's done, I mean, he doesn't even like that rule. But you know what? He just happens to be a little better than others in the recruiting process to get him. Who in their right mind would turn down any of the kids he's had over the years who've gone on to the NBA? And you look at the NBA success of them all, I mean, you could talk of John Wall, you're talking Anthony Davis. I mean, where does it end? Bledsoe, it keeps going on and on. Cousins.
He's got a lot of them in the NBA right now. We could fill up the whole front row just with top 10 draft choices. So Kentucky with a 2-point lead now. LSU playing from behind for the first time here at the 3-minute mark.
Kentucky really has taken a little bit of control. I know they're only up 2, but really early in the game it was all LSU.
This guy's been a big part of it. Missed the hook shot on the baseline, but it's tipped to him by Cauley-Stein. He missed a second try. Will he get a third? Blocked from behind on the third. Still got the ball.
He's going to get a 4th try.
And out of bounds to Kentucky.
And that is really their great strength, getting 2nd and 3rd and 4th opportunities. They are so good on the offensive glass because of their size, their athleticism. They're right there. LSU doing all they can, but trying to battle that size.
Not sure I'm seeing one guy hold on the ball that long down, that low under the basket. That's the strength and the length of Karl-Anthony Towns and Cauley-Stein, those 2 guys down low.
You know, Brad, I like the leadership ability of Ulis. He's a real true point guard. He distributes the ball well. He directs traffic. He's in command.
Towns keeps it alive for the, what, 3rd time on this end of the floor?
It's been the story of Kentucky all year.
Booker just turns and drills it.
4 opportunities, you're going to get one to go down, especially when you got a guy that can stroke it like Booker.
So this is Kentucky's biggest lead, up 4. Let's see if they can get the combination of Mickey and Martin working inside again. That's what LSU did to get the lead they had.
Kentucky's done a better job of tightening up on the interior.
There's Mickey and the foul by Martin.
There's those 2 guys, so effective. Nobody blocked them out. Martin right up there in the glass. Both those guys are going to play at the next level.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
90 seconds till halftime. Kentucky by a deuce. Booker behind Cauley-Stein, lets it fly. And the rebound is Mickey's.
The M&M gang, Mickey and Martin. Not Mickey Mouse, man, I'll tell you, they can play.
Patterson for 3 and the lead. That one died on the back of the rim.
Not enough backspin, not enough rotation.
And we have 1 minute left in the first half.
Every night these kids take the floor and win at Kentucky Blue. They get everybody's best shot. Everybody plays at such a level against them.
Aaron Harrison on a runner. And the lob underneath. I thought it was a shot. Cauley-Stein said, I'll take it, thank you.
Look at that size. 7'3", unbelievable. He was a whiteout. He was a whiteout, they said in high school.
And LSU, what they didn't need was a turnover with 35 seconds left in the half, and that's what they came up with.
Gonna take a look right here. A little lob inside, Willie Cauley-Stein. And gonna watch Martin working on the glass here. Here comes the offensive rebound. Mr. Martin with the jam. Jay Williams says, I love that. Mr. Greenberg says, I coach guys like that.
Martin's got 15 points in the first half, which is 1 less than his season average per game.
I'll take that back. If he coached a lot of guys like that, he wouldn't be working at ESPN. He'd be a multi-year contract, sitting on the sideline making zillions.
You wouldn't be sitting next to me either.
That's right. I didn't have enough of those slam jams.
10 to play in the half. Ulis on the dribble. Dakari Johnson on the baseline jumper. And the rebound off to Martin. LSU's got a half-court shots. Really entertaining first half. LSU led by as many as 8. Kentucky's come back to lead by 4. And there's your balance for Kentucky, led by Booker with 9 as we check in with Shannon.
Coach, I know you're always interested to see how your team responds to adversity. What do you think about this first half?
I thought they were great. We started, they were the aggressor, they attacked us, but we just played. And that's all I want to see, just keep playing. We're going to be in close games, we're in road games, this is how it goes.
You knew this was going to be a game for the big boys. How do you think that they've handled LSU's
I thought
bigs?
Karl really played well. I like him to offensive rebound a little bit better. But Dakari on the last play was supposed to catch it on the block. He kind of ran from the contact. So he 12 feet out. But I thought Dakari played well today, too.
Having
That's
fun?
the best he's played in a while. I'm having a ball.
Good to hear.
Happy birthday, Coach. Dakari Johnson had 7, by the way, in the first half, and Kentucky fights back to take the halftime lead. 38-34. Entertaining matchup between the Tigers and the Cats. Time for the Mazda halftime report as we send it back to the studio. Adnan, Seth, and Jay are standing by. The SEC on ESPN, and this one has been something to holla about. The guy that usually hollers the whole game is with me courtside. Brad Nessler with Dick Vitale. It's 38-34. LSU had a nice lead, and Dick, they really worked the two big guys inside. They got away from that a little bit. With that, Kentucky came back and took the lead.
Well, you know, Kentucky did a phenomenal job keeping their poise. They never panicked. Early in the game, it was all LSU. They were dominating because Mickey and Martin were terrific early in the game. We're going to watch right here. There's the drive. Defense comes to help. And look at Martin. Martin's right now going to step in, keep those bigs active, keep moving. But now he's going to try to go one-on-one here. You can't do it. Not with this size on the inside. Kentucky's so dominant defensively. Karl-Anthony Towns, you're not coming in on us. Well, I love that kid. His potential is unreal, Karl-Anthony Towns.
Karl-Anthony Towns officially was given 2 blocks in the first half. I'm not really sure what they were watching. He had more than that, but at any rate, 4-point lead for Kentucky as we start the second half.
We talk about it so often. A team like LSU can't allow Kentucky to take charge early.
And a nice, easy lay-in for Trey Lyles to open up the second half.
Well, terrific execution. That was a set-up play by John Calipari to start the half, and they got great execution.
Let's see how LSU responds now. The crowd has been quieted. 4 of the last 6 baskets by Kentucky to end the half were dunks. And that'll take your crowd out of it a little bit. Here's Mickey working inside. Had it blocked by Cauley-Stein as we check in with Shannon.
Well, Brad, remember at shoot-around today when Coach Jones told us he didn't know if it was an advantage that they had beat Kentucky last season. He said we might not be able to sneak up on them. Well, he feels like they did, at least to start that first half, but Kentucky was able to settle in. Offensively, he likes what he's seen. He said the key for this second is defensive. Get back in transition, set that defense, and try to affect the Kentucky scoring.
Well, they got back pretty well that time.
Take a look right now. He starts Ulis and Booker. They really get a good up-tempo rhythm out of those two. They play so well together as a tandem. You know, one thing I'm amazed about Kentucky, Brad, I think you probably feel the same way, how unselfish they are.
Yeah.
I mean, so many kids today, all they care about is scoring, getting stats. These kids care about one thing: bring pride to Big Blue Nation, win, win, and win. And they're heading to be 24-0, and that is amazing.
Right now, 23-0, their second best start in history. The 65-66 team started 23-0 and ended up losing to Texas Western in the NCAA title game. Foul on the floor before the basket.
That was a great moment for Don Haskins. Texas Western in that big win. That was a Kentucky team that featured the likes of our buddy Larry Conley and
Pat Riley,
like Pat Riley.
Louis Dampier.
Not bad.
Not bad. Wow. A couple of quick fouls here on this possession. This one's Booker. Yes. He and Ulis both with fouls within 5 seconds of one another.
See, the one thing with Kentucky, fouls really don't hurt their players because they're so deep. That was a big one right there.
Hornsby, nice baseline shot. There's the best starts, the 53-54 team. There were 3 players ruled ineligible, so they declined a trip to the NCAA. That's why they didn't go any further. And nice defense by LSU.
Johnny Jones played in 81 when they went to the Final Four. Look at the block shot, the rotation. Great job on the drop stop, the spin inside. Mickey, I tell you something, he's going to be a sophomore. If he stays in school, man, with those kids coming in, they're going to be special.
He's got more blocks by himself than 183 Division I teams do. Booker got the roll.
He's going to get the roll. He's got that great arc. He's got the tremendous backspin.
Again, Kentucky by 6. Overplay by Cauley-Stein. Nice defensive job, and he saves it on the sideline.
He made a dunk that was unreal.
And now, offensively, he scores it.
You saw that agility right there for a big guy. The mobility as well. That's why I say, every time I look at him, I say, he chases me. I think this kid should be putting numbers up that are scary.
Johnny Jones told me today the one thing about Cauley-Stein that he finds just freakish is that he can guard all 5 positions. He can actually jump out, guard the point, the 2, the 3 down low. And on that play with the overplay, came up with a steal and ended up with the deuce on the other end.
And he's an example of what I talked about earlier. A terrific kid who only cares about winning.
Martin takes a shot over him and drills it.
Martin, Mickey doing all they can, trying to keep LSU right here in the game.
17 for Jarrell, which is over his average, and we got a long ways to go, and they're going to need a lot more, number 1 and number 25.
You're going to need some help from some of the perimeter players, too.
Yep.
To help their bigs inside.
Quarterman's done a nice job handling the ball, but he hasn't scored yet. Aaron Harrison with a pull-up. Patterson with a rebound. Patterson has a nice knack for a little guy of getting rebounds, knows where to
nice
be.
pass.
Martin up and under.
Nice pass. Make the extra pass, and they got the layup. You're right about Patterson. I like his little feel for the game. A little savvy. But that was terrific team basketball right there.
That was Quarterman again that set up that shot.
Share the basketball. Look for the high percentage shot. This place is electric. The Death Dome.
And a whistle before the pass or before the shot. Quarterman picks up the foul.
Take a look right here. There's the little reverse to the weak side. Wide open. Good reverse layup. Boy, I think of LSU and I think about some greats. Mr. Pettit. You think about Shaquille. And you cannot not think
Pistol
about
Pete.
Pistol Pete. I looked at his numbers today coming over here. Average 44.2 for his career. Average without the three-point shot.
He had 5 games in his career over 60. I mean, come
Without
on.
the three-point shot, though.
Without the
God.
three-point
Can you
shot.
believe that? He was a one-man rock concert when he played.
He sure was.
He was a rock concert. You wanted to just watch your eyes on him.
Hornsby. Strong rebound by Towns.
Towns just getting better and better and better.
Andrew Harrison in some traffic. Ulis has an open look. Rimmed out a 3, and Martin will clear it off.
Martin handles the ball really well for a big
Does
guy,
he ever?
too.
All the way. Lost it. Cauley-Stein, they say, last touched it.
I thought he got bumped right there.
And we've got a timeout with 15:59. Kentucky had the halftime lead of 4. They've stretched it to 6 right now. The Wildcats by 6 with just under 16 to go. Karl-Anthony Towns, the freshman, 6'11", 255. Ironically, his initials spell out the word cat, and he is one big cat on the inside, Dave.
No question. Out of St. Joe's High School in Metuchen. Produced another fair player that went to Duke by the name of Jason Williams. Now Jay Williams. There he is on the inside. Look at him working on the low post. So strong, physical.
At 19 and 8 against Florida, he's got 8 and 11 right now, so working on another double-double.
His numbers would be unbelievable if he played 30, 35 minutes. At UK right now, he's got 48% offensive rebound efficiency. 10 offensive rebounds and 21 misses.
Towns with a steal right here. And it leads to Harrison to Cauley-Stein. And one.
Why not? Smart play by Harrison. Right to Willie Cauley-Stein, who's playing tonight like he did earlier this season. See the smile on Booker's face? You see the steal? And as Harrison knows where to go with it, right diagonally, throw the ball up on top. Look at that mobile big guy. We're talking a 7'3" guy.
We showed you his dunk against Florida that really changed the complexion of that game. This one might do the same. Who knows? They're up by 8. He can make it 9. And loose ball rebound. Who's going to get it? It's going to be LSU as we check in with Shannon.
Well, Dick, Brad, you guys have been talking about Karl-Anthony Towns and how he's improved. I know the secret to that improvement. Hard work. He spends about 30 to 45 minutes every single day, 6 days a week, working on some shots, just putting in extra time, big offensive, practice. And then he gets to the line after he's exhausted and he works on his free throws. He told me the best players out there, they put in the most time. He wants to be the best player. Kind of like you guys, the best guys out there putting in the most time.
He's improved his free throw percentage by about 15%, so he's done a nice job in that area for sure, as Patterson scored it off the window.
I'm going to make Shannon our PR agent. Thank you, Shannon.
You got enough of those. Stein, baseline, and a foul on the shot.
I'm going to tell you something. Looking at John Calipari, a lot of people will tell me when they meet me, they'll say, oh, he can recruit. Let me tell you something. There's two other facets of his ability on the sideline. He's a motivator. He knows how to inspire, and he understands how to get players to get better and better and better and to work, as Shannon just talked about. He has a way of getting players to develop. He has a great feel for the game. You don't win as consistent as he's won and everywhere he's been, whether it be Massachusetts, whether it be Memphis, and here at Kentucky, not understanding the complete package that takes to be a great coach.
Over the course of the amount of games that he's been at Kentucky, he now has a better record percentage-wise than all the other greats there, including Adolph Rupp and Rick Pitino. I know there's some Kentucky fans that say that's almost a sacrilegious type of comment, but it's the truth now. Cauley-Stein missed the last one and then throws it over Mickey.
Willie Cauley-Stein, that's the guy I keep talking about as I tease it. He is rising to the occasion here at the Duff Dome, making it the Silent Dome. You called it the Ice Bowl Dome or something last year.
Yeah, the weather's a little better this trip. Took me 2 days to get out of town last year.
I watched it on TV.
Here's Mickey, and blocked, but a foul on Dakari Johnson down low.
Kentucky really locking it up on the defensive end, executing, sharing the ball, looking for one another. This is the kind of basketball they played earlier in the year when they embarrassed. They just didn't beat. They embarrassed Kansas. They embarrassed UCLA. They did it. They whipped on North Carolina. Dean Smith said the best defense I've seen.
I don't want to say that Cauley-Stein has spent the last 2 games just posterizing people, but he's been posterizing people.
I got Dean Smith on my mind, the passing the Dean. I meant to say, obviously, Roy Williams.
Coach Smith, who passed away Saturday.
So sad, so tragic. What a leader. People know about his numbers, but he was more than his numbers. He was such a great humanitarian. What he did for equality, what he did in terms of helping people. His players loved him.
Be a memorial for Coach Smith on February 22nd, from what we understand, as Marcus Lee in the scorebook for the first time. And now the lead is double digits.
He's got good ability. While we're talking just about Dean, I want to simply send our best wishes and prayers for Jerry Tarkanian, who went to the hospital today.
Coach Tark's in the ICU out in Vegas. His son Danny says it's just a minute-to-minute situation. We don't know anything further right now, or we pass it along to you.
So sad to see your buddies now moving on. And
Coach Smith passed away at 83. Coach Tark is 84. Nice move by Jordan Mickey. That's his first field goal of the second half. They need those 2 big guys to really come through.
Nice reverse layup by him right there.
As the depth of Kentucky starting to show right now.
They're playing really well here. Since the time they were down 8 early in the game, they have really elevated himself and playing well.
Andrew Harrison knocks it down from 15.
It's becoming contagious now. They're all stepping up. They're executing. You can see them play with a little bit more passion than you did earlier in the game.
Double-digit lead with 13 and a half to play.
I said way in the beginning of the year they're going to run the table in the regular season. And then the postseason is going to be interesting. Going in with that kind of pressure.
Inside, no foul called. Another stuffed shot and out of bounds to Kentucky.
I'll be down in Lexington on Saturday, play South Carolina. We beat them last year, so it's going to be tough for the Gamecocks to beat them down in Rupp Arena.
Calipari's only lost 4 games in 6 years at Rupp. Pretty tough place.
Great formula. You got coaching, you got talent, you got great fans.
Got 24,000 screaming in there. It's a good combination.
They're zoning right now. It's a little danger time right here. The next 3 or 4 minutes is really a time where LSU's got to step it up.
Andrew Harrison just buries a 3.
They're making shots. When they make shots, they are almost unbeatable.
Yep, LSU's got to call timeout. Biggest lead of the night by either team. Kentucky now up 13. 58-45. And everybody, as Dick said, getting in the act, including Andrew Harrison. Usually it's his brother taking those long shots. Coach Smith, who passed away Saturday at the age of 83, and it was much more than the 879 wins, the 2 national titles, all the ACC tournament. We did so many games with him. He's such a class individual to be around.
I'll tell you, talk about Dean Smith. I remember talking to him before games, and he would simply say to me, "Don't call me Michelangelo. Please, my players are so good." He was so humble, but he was all about his players. I never saw a coach loved so much as he was by his players. You talk whether it be Bob McAdoo or Phil Ford or Michael Jordan or James Worthy. They would call him a father figure. He was special in every way. And he's someone that's really, to me, when you really talk about legacy and you talk about being an icon, when you affect people's lives for years and years and generations, that's what he does. He will affect so many people for many, many a year because his players will pass it on to their kids and right down the line. He was a special guy. May he rest in peace.
And he would remember a walk-on or a manager as much as if you were James Worthy or Michael Jordan or Phil Ford or down the list you go.
He followed all their birthdays. He contacted them on Christmas. He was so special.
Three-pointer goes by Josh Gray. Well, one thing I remember about Coach Smith, because I lived in Atlanta, he always thought I was biased towards Georgia Tech every time we did an ACC game that involved those 2 teams. When he retired, he sent me a personalized letter and said, "I loved your professionalism all the years you covered my games." I still have that framed in my office.
You got a letter framed for me, too?
I've got books framed by you.
Oh, look at this right here. You got a score here, bro. You got a score here.
A little run here by LSU.
Yeah, quick timeout.
John Calipari didn't like the looks of it.
Oh, he's going to get a timeout right away. And that's part of coaching. That's why he's a master psychologist on that sideline. That was another great asset of Dean Smith. He was a psychologist. Always wanted that little edge. I'll never forget him one time calling, and he wanted to play us in Detroit. I was ecstatic as you watch here. Want to play us? There it is, the catch, the score. And then he said, "Yeah, we're going to play you, but there's something else. You got to make 2 trips to Chapel Hill."
1 for 2, right?
Absolutely. It's North Carolina. You do it.
Well, the lead's been cut back to 8 as we check in with Shannon.
Well, that's exactly what Johnny Jones said to his guys during that last timeout. He told them, "I think you guys have let Kentucky get into a comfort zone offensively. We need to make some stops." As far as offensively for his guys, he really wanted them to continue to push the pace.
If they could get a stop here and push it back the other way, the crowd would get back into it.
They're going to block out because the missed shot is very dangerous when you play Kentucky. We talked about that, charting the efficiency of them on the offensive glass.
Cauley-Stein against Martin. Martin backs off to give Cauley-Stein. He's not going to take the outside shot.
Yeah, he'll allow him to shoot that jumper all day. And those big screens up on top of them.
Towns off a pick and roll and the lob to Stein. How nice was that?
That was terrific execution. That was a set play. Come off the screen, you roll, defense rotates to you, flip it up to your buddy. Wow, you couldn't execute that any better. I see John Robick clapping his hands, Barry Rawson.
Willie Cauley-Stein has done a little bit of everything, playing defense with the save and then playing on the inside. 1 of 3 slam dunks. He's having quite a game. All right, guys, thanks. Journey to the Tourney presented by Sonic. Part of our Saturday showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy at noon. Big Ten battle, Ohio State going to Michigan State. Michigan State struggling a little bit right now, but it seems like they've had Ohio State's number when they've gone there. That's at noon on ESPN, your home court of college hoops.
I'll tell you one thing with Ohio State, D'Angelo Russell, his stock keeps rising, rising, rising. He is multidimensional, Mr. Versatility. Show some poise right here and get a good shot.
Got a nice entry pass into Mickey by Gray.
I'm really impressed with Mickey and Martin. They're better than advertised to me.
They both played well tonight.
You know, it's amazing. You probably call them all. Kentucky has now won the SEC tournament championship the last 3 years.
Florida won it last year, going perfect through the regular season. Kentucky trying to do the same this year. Foul is on Gray.
There's Mickey right there. Inside play. So tough to match up with them with that size they possess. Big screen, he'll roll right to the goal after the screen.
Missed the jam, and he's still hanging on the rim. That's technical.
Got a tee, hanging on the rim.
If he'd have let go the first time, it would have been all right. But he hung around a long time.
Towns did a great job rolling the basket, just didn't convert.
And that's not a birthday wish that John Calipari has given Karl-Anthony Towns right there on the sideline. Okay, right there, if he comes down, that's okay. But the pull-up and the extra hang time, not going to work.
Yeah, he's got to call that tee, and it's in the book. And you got to convert and take advantage of it right here.
So Hornsby, a 76% free throw shooter, goes to the line on the other end for the Tigers. It's not going to help. And Mr. Towns sits down with the technical foul. Second one goes by Hornsby, and LSU with the ball.
That one thing, John Calipari is not going to waste a moment if he's not happy, whether he's a star, whether he's a guy on the end of the bench, or he's a superstar. He's going to know where he stands. You
might get an earful whether you had anything to do with what out on the floor or not. Here's Martin and Quarterman. Hornsby got a free spot for three and got it.
Wow, he missed the free throw, but he makes the big three. And Daddy goes wild.
Back to four.
Little string music for his daddy. What a big three that was.
The crowd back into it.
Yeah, they woke up. They're a little silent there. Kentucky quieted them down.
LSU on an 11-2 run. Aaron Harrison to quiet him and almost airballed it. Rebound. Gray on the run.
Gray really pushing the ball up the floor. Big junior college scorer.
Chance to cut it to two.
All right to Martin.
Quarterman got it back on the baseline. He twists inside and saves on the. Martin saves it on the baseline. Still can't get it to go, and now they do in one.
Oh, they keep battling, battling, battling. So tenacious on the interior. They love it here. They love it. The Miles loves it. They all love it. Look at this here. I mean, you better not be weak to play inside there. Look at the size. Look at the physical contact. Stay with it. He comes back and stays with it. Wow.
That was some tough play. He hit the deck twice, still got the basket, and a chance for a three-point play.
He bounced right off that deck, man. Oh, you got to make that free throw. You can't miss those kind of free throws when you try to pull an upset.
Back to a two-point game, Mr. Vitale. A 13-2 LSU run.
Johnson was wide open on the post. They missed him down low.
Ulis almost traveled. And now a little teardrop by Ulis. Rebound is Mickey and Johnson's, and it's LSU ball as Johnson picked up the foul. And it's 1-and-1 time for LSU on the other end. They can tie the game.
Free throw line's going to be big now as we get down here. Less than 10 minutes left in the game.
Mickey's a 69% free throw shooter.
He missed 15 in that win over Alabama.
They made him when they needed to in the second half, but still, you're right. They left 13 out there. There's a big one.
He got that rotation. You've seen these guys more than I have, but I'm going to tell you, they're better than advertised when I'm looking at Martin and Mickey.
The last time the game was tied was at 32. We're tied again.
My friends, call your buddies up. Call your buddies up. 23-0. Will it be 24-0 on John Calipari's birthday?
Towns backs in. On the fade, too short. Mickey the rebound.
Got to take that, go right to the goal. Shoot it fading away. They'd like to see that.
LSU's last lead was 26-23. They're not going to get it here. They turn it over. Whoa, look out. Nice hustle by Quarterman.
Bad play, bad possession by LSU. Trying to challenge their big guys off the bounce, the little guys. That's not going to get you done. You got to be a little more patient. Great effort, but he went out of bounds. Good call by the official. Kentucky ball.
The excitement of a 15-2 run by LSU wasted there with an opportunity to regain the lead. 8:40 to go. Tied at 60.
I would get some touches inside. Anthony Towns. Get hitting the ball on a box.
Aaron Harrison. Pull up over Hornsby. Too strong. Rebound. Battled and won. And a foul on Towns for Kentucky.
They believe. They believe. They beat him here last year on this court. They went to Rupp and got beat by Julius Randle with a tip at 3.2 seconds left in the game. So they're not intimidated. Like a lot of teams see that Kentucky uniform, they back away. But they have bigs that can certainly neutralize to a certain degree the bigs of Kentucky.
Waterman hasn't been to the free throw line so far tonight. He had 7 free throws in the win over Alabama. Gets the rebound back. Underneath. Gray for the lead.
That was one heck of a play by Quarterman. One heck of a play. He anticipated where to go with that basketball almost before he had it in his hands.
First lead of the second half for the Tigers. And a foul on Quarterman. Trying to play tough defense against Booker. And picks up his 3rd foul.
Brad, take a look at this play right here. He misses the free throw. It comes out long. He gets his hands on it. And look at this. No time wasted. He goes diagonally to the open look. Great play by Quarterman.
So Ulis comes out. The Harrison twins and Booker are the backcourt with Towns and Cauley-Stein on the floor for Kentucky. They're down by 2. Andrew Harrison will pull up. Didn't get the bounce. Rebound is Mickey's.
And Mickey stays right in there and challenges those bigs on the glass.
Hornsby on a drive. Rejected by Towns.
Score the basket. That's an excellent call right there. Hornsby's got guts, man. He's got guts. As my buddy Billy Rafferty would say, he's got onions, man. He's got onions.
7:42 to go. Timeout. As Keith Hornsby takes it inside. Towns with a goaltending, and LSU's got a 4-point lead. 7:42 remaining. Can LSU pull the upset at home? Stick around. We'll find out together.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Cree LED Lighting.
LSU by 4 with 7:42 remaining as we take a look at tonight's amazing play brought to you by Quicken Loans. How about Jarrell Martin, the 6'10 sophomore from right here in Baton Rouge? On that play, hits the deck. Quarterman goes in, misses the shot. He gets the rebound, kicks it back out, hits the deck again, comes back into play. They miss another shot. He scores, had a chance for a 3-point play. That is some hustle right there. That's some Quicken and some loans.
Tell you, look at LSU. They got wins this year over West Virginia, Massachusetts, Georgia. They didn't have Florida. They beat them by 18 down there in Gator Country.
Then you wonder why they start losing to Auburn and Missouri. No offense to Auburn and Missouri.
Play with passion. They're playing with passion tonight. They're playing with passion.
Everybody does that against Kentucky, and indeed LSU has fought their way back from being down double digits now. Hornsby, steal, and the layup.
What a great play. Hornsby's been a real factor in this game. The last 3 minutes, he's made some great plays, causing John Calipari for another timeout.
Keith Hornsby hit a 3 earlier, then had a shot rejected that was a goaltending call, and then comes up with this gem.
I tell you, he does a great job right here. And watch him right now, anticipating. Here he is, gets step in the lane, makes like a defensive back. He turns to look to see who's coming, and he lays it on the glass. They tell me he's a great work ethic. He practices, he busts his gut.
As I told you last year, even when he wasn't playing, first guy practice, last guy to leave. 17 for Hornsby.
Coaches were really raving about him today, and a lot of them talking to him. Johnny Jones and Eric Musselman.
And while we got a quick minute to catch our breath, don't forget Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy at noon. Ohio State, Michigan State get together. Then will it be the pursuit of perfection for Kentucky as they host South Carolina? Maybe not, but that's at 2. Ohio State, Michigan State in the Big Ten at noon. And then South Carolina and Kentucky all coming up Saturday on ESPN. But will they be undefeated or will they be 23-1? We're going to find out in 7 minutes and 15 seconds.
I think Gray really playing defense on the basketball. And Hornsby playing a lot of tenacity.
Towns asking for it against Martin.
Trying to double him up inside.
And Martin forces him to kick it back out. 10 on the shot clock. Aaron Harrison and Andrew Harrison in the backcourt. This is Andrew.
They're going to look for Booker who can make shots.
Towns is going to have to take a long shot. And got it!
Oh, how big was that shot for the Cats?
Towns from just inside the three-point line with the shot clock at 1. Gray's going to take a 3. Not sure Johnny Jones will like that one. And a rebound is Kentucky's. And they get a timeout called.
You know, you're 4 points up. Right now, you're in command. You shoot the ball so quickly from the perimeter. That's not the kind of shot you want, LSU.
How about this one by Towns, though?
Well,
this is with about 1 on the shot clock.
Great job defensively by LSU. That's just a tough shot. Desperate shot there at the end of the shot clock.
There you see the shot clock expiring as he hit the shot.
You know, getting back to LSU in that possession, you got to come down and make sure you get high percentage shots. You want to win a game against a superior team in terms of talent. You cannot give them opportunities like that.
Let's check in with Shannon.
Well, the freshman Towns not only playing like a veteran, but he's acting like one. He just walked over to the huddle, looked at all his guys, and said, let's everyone just calm down.
We'll see if they can. It's hard to with this atmosphere and with an undefeated record on the line. LSU's on a 21-4 run in the last just under 6 minutes. Towns, the last 2 games, has been sensational.
I'll tell you one thing, LSU is not allowed an opponent to shoot 50% all year. The best against them shooting the ball was Gardner-Webb, shot 46.7.
Booker, and again, gets the roll.
I just said a moment ago, he's the guy that's got to shoot the ball. He's got great touch. They got to get him some open looks.
We approach 6 minutes. Here's Hornsby, who's been a hero here in the last couple of minutes. Had to pick up his dribble.
He's matched up with Booker on the perimeter.
And whistle and a foul on the baseline on Towns as he was chasing Mickey.
You know, Jordan Mickey, talking about a guy on fire, Brad. 3 straight 20-plus games, 9 straight games with double-doubles. He's had 14 double-doubles this year, shooting 52% from the field. I mean, just doing a great job. 17 points a game, 11 rebounds a game.
Josh Hawkins of Washington State's the only guy that's got more double-doubles than this kid. 15 for Hawkins, and as Dick said, 14 double-doubles for Jordan Mickey, the sophomore out of Dallas. Another good night tonight at the free throw line for a 1-and-1.
Okay, one thing, I saw Ben Simmons play. I saw Antonio Blakeney play. If those 2 guys do not leave and stay at LSU, they are going to be a top 10 basketball team. That's how good Simmons and Blakeney are if they could join the M&M guys, Martin and Mickey.
So 33.5%, second lowest in the country field goal percentage-wise. But as you saw, the last 2 games, Florida 49, and tonight LSU 50. So the defense of Kentucky tonight and Saturday has not been what it was the previous 21 games.
Right, not the typical Kentucky defense. People getting open shots. John Calipari will address that too. Because that's not the strength of his team. That strength of his team certainly is playing tough defense, making people struggle to shoot the ball.
Jumper by Lyles won't go. Kept alive in the corner by Harrison. He'll take a triple. LSU with a rebound.
LSU's got to have some patience and poise. Kentucky's got to put some pressure on the basketball. I like Gilgeous on the floor. I think it's a good move by John Calipari.
He is cat quick. No pun intended.
He plays real hard, and I think it affects everybody else on the floor.
Quarterman, who's been big tonight with ball handling and assists. Not a lot of scoring. Martin's going to take a baseline jumper. And Booker with a rebound.
Got to push the ball a little bit more, get a little more transition. Get in the hands of Ulis, good things happen.
Gray's on Booker, and Booker's going to run the baseline. They wouldn't mind getting it in his hands if it's going to be an outside shot. 15 on the shot clock as Andrew Harrison backs it out.
LSU played with a lot of passion, playing tough defense.
Lyles, 5 to shoot for Ulis. Found a little crease in the paint. The follow by Willie Cauley-Stein.
There's the offensive rebound again. The biggest strength Kentucky possesses, size, and really attacks the offensive boards.
6th dunk of the night by Kentucky, and it cuts the lead to 1. Gray, little opening, and Cauley-Stein said, take that one back where it came from.
Hey, Gray trying to attack. I give him a little credit for being aggressive, but really you got to play a little bit cerebral too. You got to know what you're facing when you make that kind of drive.
Cauley-Stein is the #1 active shot blocker in the Southeastern Conference, and Jordan Mickey is #2. So we've got the best 2 shot blockers in the conference in this game. And here they are against each other. And Mickey won that battle.
I tell you what, a terrific play by Mickey one-on-one. He protects the basketball well. He seals off the defense. Oh, they love it here. They love it.
3:40 to go. LSU by 3.
This is reminiscent of the olden days when Dale Brown had this place rocking.
Ulis to try to tie it. Rebound is Mickey again.
See, they won't allow Ulis to shoot that shot. That's not their strength, Kentucky.
Quarterman stepped on the baseline. Again, enthusiasm and a little too much adrenaline. 3:25 remaining in the ball game. Can LSU pick off undefeated and #1 Kentucky? 3:25 to find out. Jarrell Martin and Jordan Mickey right about on their average together. They put together 33 points and some sensational inside work between the 2 of them. And one has helped the other a number of times. Martin, great hustle, battle on the boards and on the floor for that matter. And Mickey likewise, blocking shots on defense and getting to the rim like this.
They've been really so tenacious. They've been attacking off the bounce, strong to the basket. Both guys have really lived up to the billing coming into this game. Hornsby also, let's not forget him. He made some great plays. First time I ever heard, as you look at the numbers there, about Hornsby, I got a call from Kirkpatrick. Outstanding writer. He said, this kid Hornsby can play. He was good friends with his dad. That's just the way it is, my friend.
Hornsby got 17 to go with the 37 between the 2 big guys. Booker. That's the shot they want from the outside, but he missed it. And at 3 minutes, it's LSU by 3.
That was the shot exactly. It was designed that way. Got the ball in the hands of the guy that can make shots. Got to take a little time off the clock, manage the clock. You don't want to certainly go to a stall, but you want to really get high percentage shots with every possession. Not a good play
Towns
there.
with a steal. And Harrison fouled. And he'll go to the line.
Free throw big, and that was really a savior for Kentucky, a savior against the Gators. 21 for 22 in a close game.
Kentucky has given up more points in the paint tonight than they have to anybody else all season long. I think there's a good reason for that. Mickey and Martin are best duo that they faced this year.
Got 2 legit bigs. The only one to miss a free throw in that game was Andrew Harrison.
Andrews 3 for 3 from the free throw line. He only had a point, as Dick said, against Florida, but he had 23 and 7 assists in the previous game against Georgia, where he and his brother sort of switched roles as far as who was the scorer and who was the facilitator. And here at the free throw line, he has cut the lead to 1.
Could be a big difference, that free throw line coming to the stretch here in this game.
Now let's see what LSU does on the offensive end. They'd love to use some clock and then get a great shot, obviously.
You're going to get a great shot. It's got to come from the M&M guys. Instead of screen, he's going to roll to the basket and step back from the screen. Screen is usually the most dangerous guy on the floor, man. Instead of screen, step back from it, usually wide open.
He's going to set another one. Now Gray draws a crowd. Finds Hornsby on the baseline. Missed a 3. Martin almost kept it alive. Mickey trying to save it, but it's going to be Kentucky ball. Now coming up tomorrow night, doubleheader of the NBA starts with the countdown at 7:30. And then the Heat and the Cavs get together, followed by the Rockets and Clippers at 10:30. And this place is lit up at the 2-minute mark. Sellout crowd, Pete Maravich Assembly Center in Baton Rouge First time in a long time you can't find a seat, and they have gotten their money's worth and then some.
Well, will the unbeaten team in college basketball go down today like the unbeaten team did in women's basketball? South Carolina
with a big win over South Carolina last night. We got a foul underneath.
Tell you one thing about Kentucky. They've been tested and have always responded. They've been very resilient. They've been challenged a lot more in the SEC than people would have thought. The SEC has been better than people thought, too. I'll tell you that. You talk about these teams, the Georgias, the Tennessees.
Joe Lunardi's got 6 teams in the NCAA tournament right now.
They're all beating each other, though.
Yeah.
They're beating each other. Mississippi had them on the ropes big time.
There was not a foul call. Just out of bounds to Kentucky. And I think they're working on the shot clock to make sure it's set right. And the 3 officials are still going to get together. Antonio Petty and Joe Lindsay and Michael Roberts. And they're going to send everybody to the bench, and these 3 guys are going to talk about it. There's some discrepancy as to, I think, what the shot clock should be.
Well, you got to go over and make sure it's late in the game.
So they've got a monitor over there with 1:45 remaining. Official review going on. Let's take a look at what we see. Okay, that hit the rim, so the shot clock's reset. And then it didn't start moving again. And it should have been probably 3 or 4 seconds more off the clock, I think is what they're going to do. But let's wait and see. Or are they going to leave it the way it is?
Good bit of officiating, though, to make certain. Go over to the monitor, check it out. I've said once, I'll say it again. Should get the shot clock down to 30 seconds in college basketball.
Well, the NIT is going to try it this year, postseason.
And we come down. Kentucky's been resilient in a lot of close situations. They found a way to make the right play and to get to the winner's circle. Can they continue tonight?
They left it at 34 on the shot clock with 1:40 on the game clock. 1-point game, LSU with the lead.
I'd go to Karl-Anthony Towns inside. I would go to him inside. Get him the ball right there. Get the ball inside to the big guy.
And the hook shot's good. And Kentucky back in front.
That's a big-time play right there by a great talent. And that was a smart play, very cerebral. I believe that was really set up by John Calipari to make sure get the ball to the inside.
Martin working against Towns.
So much the difference in winning and losing is the right guy shooting, shot selection, free throws. Those 2 things are so big, Brad.
It's going to be a minute or less when LSU takes a shot here.
You don't want to pull up that dribble.
6 to shoot. Quarterman, somebody's got to make a decision. And a timeout called by LSU with 5 seconds on the shot clock. This is what Dick called for on the other end, and he was right on the money. Let's take you back to that last shot by Karl-Anthony Towns.
Well, Karl-Anthony Towns sitting deep in that post. But out of St. Joe's Metuchen High School. There he is going across the lane. Nobody stepped in. Should have stepped in and take away that turn to the inside. Make him spin to the baseline. Don't let him get into that lane. So effective in that area.
He's got his 4th double-double of the season as well. 12 points, 12 rebounds. Talked about Joe Lunardi a couple of minutes ago about the SEC, and they are not underappreciated right now, as he's got Kentucky obviously as a 1 seed, and Arkansas and Georgia 6 and 8, a couple of 10 seeds, and then this LSU team. And that seeding won't hurt if they come from a point down here and pull an upset. But right now, Kentucky's got the lead. LSU's got just 5 seconds to shoot. And the ball's going to be over there by the LSU bench with Martin, the trigger man.
It's the best way you sell your program. Great performance. You got a packed house. I don't let them leave excited.
Martin into Gray. Going to have to hustle. He's working against Ulis. Gray didn't get a shot away.
Great effort by Kentucky. Tremendous defensive play.
With that being said, you can't dribble into traffic when there's 3 guys in there that have a 7'3" wingspan. It's not going to work for you.
He's done that several times.
That's why he hadn't started the last 2 games.
Can't do that. But Kentucky, really execution offensively and defensively was a plus for them in the last 2 possessions.
So now there's a 15-second difference on the game clock and the 35-second shot clock. Kentucky with the ball and the lead. Stein's going to set a pick just for Andrew Harrison to get away from Gray in the backcourt.
You know, Willie Cauley-Stein, not a great free throw shooter, who went 5 for 5 during the last game. They're holding Harrison right here. I mean, come on now, you can't put your arms around him.
15 to shoot.
Got to watch the missed shot, Brad. The missed shot was very dangerous. in this
the ball
situation.
in the hands of Andrew Harrison right now. His runner won't go. Towns keeps it alive with an offensive rebound.
That's the missed shot.
Now they got a foul. And they foul, guess what? One of the best free throw shooters in the conference.
The missed shot is so big against Kentucky. Offensive rebound and one of their great strengths, and that was a big offensive rebound. They didn't score on it, but they got the ball back, and they're just literally keeping the ball alive. That size. Towns again made the big play. He made a big play offensively and made a great play with the offensive rebound.
LSU calls timeout with 14.8 to play.
Boy, last year, it's shown it's no fluke that they play them tough.
No. No, it was an icy night a year ago in Baton Rouge. I mean, bad weather. And the fans that showed up, they got what they were looking for. Jordan Mickey had 5 blocks. Johnny O'Brien had a game-high 29, and LSU beat Kentucky 87-82. And then in Lexington, Andrew Harrison's free throw sent the game into overtime. With 3.9 left, Julius Randle put back a loose ball for the Wildcats, and they won 77-76. And then Kentucky also beat LSU in the SEC tournament in Atlanta. So 2-1 in favor of Kentucky a year ago. Right now, down to the wire, less than 15 seconds to go, and Kentucky by 1.
You know, Kentucky came on strong, obviously, last year in the run for the national title, but that team was not nearly as talented and as good as the team we're looking at right here.
I agree with you. Booker at the line is an 83% free throw shooter, and that's just pure shooting talent.
Tell you, you're Kentucky, you want to see him on that stripe. He's got a great follow-through arc.
Even if he makes this one, it's a one-possession game, and LSU still got a chance. And he missed the second one. And LSU's got the ball.
Oh, he's ahead of the pack. Nobody got back.
Patterson, Hornsby had to give it up. Knocked out of bounds by Kentucky.
What a terrific defensive play. Was that Harrison that made that defensive play in the corner? Yes, it was.
Hornsby thought he was going to get the shot blocked, so he kicked it back outside. It was knocked out of bounds by Kentucky, and LSU's going to have a chance with 6.6 to go.
Kentucky did a great job recovering right there, Booker, because it looked like he had a layup. Booker hustled back and made him throw the ball out.
Well, you can't ask for more than this.
Wow.
LSU uses its final timeout. They trail by 2. 6.6 to go. A basket ties it. 3-point wins it.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, in getting the ball in bounds, you're not thinking 3 right now. You're at home. You're going to go for the high percentage shot. You're going to take whatever is the high percentage shot on the inside. And really, Mickey or Martin, to me, got to get a touch on the box.
If so, we would be going to overtime. If they get one to go here with 6.6.
If the 3 is available and you got a wide open look and a guy like Hornsby's got his body squared, let it fly. Go for that unbelievable win. Do you think they'll rush the court if they win?
I don't know, but I'm going to duck.
I'm going to duck too, my friend. I don't think they're worried about anything. Fine.
This is a record crowd, by the way. 13,997. In this configuration of Pete Maravich Assembly Center. That's the biggest crowd they've ever had.
It's been years since a sellout. They're bringing back the spirit and the excitement here. Remember what's at stake, people. Kentucky is undefeated. The only undefeated team in men's and women's basketball. Yes, undefeated. And right now comes the 6.6 seconds on John Calipari's birthday. Will he be a happy guy? Let me tell you, there's only one gift he wants. He wants to get out of Baton Rouge with a W.
Starting 5s on the floor for LSU. Patterson, Hornsby, Mickey, Martin, and Quarterman. Martin to inbound into Quarterman with 5. And now Hornsby for the win. Missed it. Mickey can't get it back up there, and Kentucky has survived a trip to Baton Rouge.
They went for the win. They set up a play for Hornsby to shoot the 3.
Still perfect, and now the second best start in Kentucky basketball history. They're 24-0, and the 56-year-old birthday coach John Calipari is sweating bullets right now. They had everything and then some thrown at them by the Tigers of LSU.
But they showed their resiliency, and they leave on the road again with another W. Part of the growing process. It's unreal. Unreal. You know the one thing I don't want to hear? You're going to hear people say, well, you know, it's better off they lose a game or 2 before. I don't buy that philosophy. Play to win, man. You win.
And Shannon's with the winning coach.
Well, Coach, you know that every single team you play is going to bring their best game. How would you describe the game this evening?
We had the game. Carl decided to chin himself up. And the reason I didn't call a timeout, I told them all, I hope they beat us. That's a hero's play. For no reason he did it. That's his growth. There's where he's learning. But then he came back in, huge rebound, huge basket, and he played. It's his immaturity. I'm asking him to grow fast. But it was a good game.
For the rest of the team, besides Towns, what do you want them to take away from this game?
Andrew was outstanding. Andrew, that's who he is, attack mode. Passing, scoring, layups, defending. I thought he was outstanding.
We'll move over here to Karl-Anthony Towns. Well, Coach Calipari just said the mistake, the technical. How were you able to regroup and kind of move past that?
I'm just my brothers. My brothers are behind me all the time, and they just told me to keep playing. I have full confidence in me, and I just wanted to really go home to Lexington with a W.
Did you feel like you had to maybe come in with a little bit more fire after Coach got into you?
I always got a lot of fire. He's always into me, but you know, he brings the best out of me, and I'm just trying to give him the best every night out.
How does a game like this make you guys better moving forward?
Oh, big time. We needed a game like this. We needed to have a scare. We've been doing so great recently, but we needed to have a team like LSU who played so well tonight, and we just had to regroup and just come back from runs. That was the biggest thing for us.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
When they started the SEC campaign, they had to take Ole Miss to overtime and Texas A&M to 2 overtimes, and then they can kind of rolling since then. Well, tonight they came down to the final shots, and they win it by 2. They ended on an 11-3 run in the last 7.5 minutes. And Dick, final shot off the mark, and then Mickey just couldn't get his hands on it again and get a second chance.
I thought Kentucky did a great job defending that in Hornsby. He came off that screen. It was not an easy shot. He was contested. He was challenged. And I'll tell you one thing, they gave a great effort. But you got to also credit Kentucky not folding with this crowd as loud as it was, and they went down there late in the game.
LSU was up by 6 with about 7.5 minutes to go, but Kentucky goes on a run to win it and stay perfect. 11-0 now in conference play, 24-0 overall. They had to hang on for dear life in Baton Rouge tonight to win it. 71-69 is the final. For Shannon Smith.